you trust your crypto assets to centralized exchanges that actively sell your private information and front-run your trades? Would you like to buy and sell your assets without any middlemen, intermediaries, or robots? Do you like paying slippage, fees, and having the price go up as bots steal from you on low-liquidity decentralized exchanges? The solution is NodeMarket.io. Set your guaranteed buy or sell price. No middlemen, no slippage, no bots, ever. Buy or sell 1, 10, or even 10 million tokens, and you never have to worry. OTC trades are between you and the seller or buyer, guaranteed by audited smart contracts and no human middlemen. NodeMarket.io.
All right. Oh, that's not the one. Yeah, that's the one. All right. It's almost Christmas. Almost. Well, maybe in some time zones it already is. I don't know. Maybe in China they skip Christmas. Hello. Ooh, from Australia. Yeah, you're already in Christmas, aren't you? It's already the day after Christmas, isn't it? Hello. All right. We're going to keep today pretty light. I found some pretty fun stuff article-wise. The prediction markets make some interesting predictions for next year, so that was kind of fun. Charles is taking on DC, so I'll read you that. It's more of Charles Hoskinson's bullshit and nonsense. It's kind of funny. He turned into he just turned into a weirdo, didn't he? Oh, Charles just turned into a damn fool. So maybe he'll get out of the way of Cardano. We'll see. It doesn't look. I mean, the good thing is he's not. It doesn't look like he's doing anything with Cardano. It looks like he's taking on DC. Remember when he was trying to lie to everyone? Sorry. Confuse everyone? No, it was a lie. And try to insinuate that he was going to be working with the president, with the cabinet and all that. And then he took a tour like any of you can do. He took a tour at SpaceX and called that something is like, I can't talk about it. Yeah, Charles, there's nothing to talk about. Creep. Anyway, this is more of that. He's taking on DC. Oh, he's going to get lawmakers and call meetings and all this. No one gives a shit what Charles has to say. You imagine you're a senator and this like, Senator Johnson, you have a call on line 4? Yeah, who is it? It's Charles Kaskaskin? Who? Charles Kaskaskin? Who? The crypto guy. Oh, no, I'm busy. I'm busy till the end of the century. I mean, this guy, man. Anyway, okay. And then MicroSailor, he's at it again. Not only does he buy more Bitcoin, I think around 105, 106,000. We talked about that yesterday. But now he's calling a vote of shareholders to sell more shares, to dilute them, and buy more Bitcoin. This dude just keeps getting away with it, doesn't he? You got to wonder at a certain point how fucking stupid these shareholders are. Like, somebody there must have a napkin and a crayon. There must be somebody there with a sixth grade math education that can be like, hey, this doesn't work, stupid. Like, dear God, man. Anyway, so yeah, man, that's the story there. We'll talk about it, and then we'll take a look at markets, and yeah, and then you'll go on your merry way. I was trying to go to broadcast onto Rumble today because it's got, you can set it up, but it didn't seem to work. So we'll keep trying. Maybe I need to get, I don't know if I got to get new stream keys every time or what is. Who knows? Anyway, let's go and talk about these pieces of news. Okay, the first one that I thought was pretty interesting is, and by the way, if you guys have questions, just put Q or the word question, and I will try to get to it. We'll try to knock them out. Christmas questions. All right. Prediction market shows 77% odds of a Magnificent Seven company will buy Bitcoin in 2025. Whoa. Okay, so let's see. Google keeps Bitcoin at arm's length. Amazon apparently had some kind of boardroom brawl about it. Apple stays in its own lane. Meta is pivoting to NFTs, while Microsoft is backing blockchain but not Bitcoin. Tesla and Nvidia, they're both. Let's see. Tesla's holding, Nvidia's mining, or at least looking at the potential of it. So, prediction markets have gone ballistic. Kalshi, one of the sharpest platforms out there, says there's a 77% chance that one of the Magnificent Seven, so that's Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, Nvidia, or Alphabet, will take the plunge and buy Bitcoin in 2025. Well, it's not a big stretch. Tesla already has Bitcoin. So I think it's 100%. They already own it. But I guess these guys are saying they'll buy it. They would buy again. It seems kind of common sense that Tesla would manage Bitcoin by buying or selling. Anyway, a few months ago, the odds were sitting at 49%. But Michael Saylor, good old Michael Saylor, the man who treats Bitcoin like a cultish, creepy-ass math missing religion, has been out there pushing companies like Microsoft to stop playing it safe and start stacking Satoshis. And they said no. They said unequivocally no. Their board said no, and their shareholders said no. Period, full stop, no. We won't do it. That's it. So, yeah. Let's see, Kessel. Are Bitcoin miners making money? Yes. If they're still mining, they're making money, or they wouldn't still be mining. They just go out of business. Howard, that's not a question. You failed question class, Howard. So, we'll see. Alphabet, Google continues to keep Bitcoin kind of at arm's length. So Alphabet, the first company on that list of the Magnificent Seven, which is Google's parent company, which has been, kind of doing that thing where it dips its toe in the crypto pool, but it doesn't really want to admit it's participating. So back in 2018, it banned crypto ads altogether, if you guys remember that whole thing, because apparently scams are bad for business, which, that's true. Fast forward to this year, and it seems like they realized that blockchain technology might actually be worth something. Google Cloud is exploring blockchain for enterprise clients, focusing on things like security and transparency. On the other side of it, Alphabet's financials are looking pretty good. Google Cloud revenue hit $11.4 billion in Q3. That's up 35%. Company stock is up more than 30% since September, making it one of the top performers in that market. So it's a maybe. The Haley Welch, the girl that was had her 15 minutes of fame and used it to kind of accidentally rug pull a bunch of people. Apparently, she's cooperating with her legal team to not owe lots and lots and lots of money and have fraud charges and all this kind of stuff. So, What an idiot. Crypto's easy, isn't it? Isn't crypto easy? It's so easy. Let's talk Amazon. So Amazon, they've had a bit of a recent boardroom brawl. Amazon shareholders in December told the board to put their money where the future is. Specifically, they want Amazon to invest 5% of its $88 billion in cash reserves into Bitcoin. That's $4.4 billion. For those of you that are doing math, right? Because 10 would be 8.8. Yes, you're good. So insiders reportedly say that Amazon is already thinking about dropping $250 million on Bitcoin because the Financial Account Standards Board, FASB, changed the accounting rules, which makes it easier for company to hold crypto on the books. Meanwhile, rumors are going around that Amazon could start accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and oddly enough, Cardano. Although my guess is that's Charles bullshitting his way forward. I don't think Amazon's taking Cardano anytime soon. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I could see. Anyway, Amazon stock is trading at 2.25, up 20% for the year, with a market cap of 2.36 trillion. And, they're powerful. So if they were to jump into Bitcoin, that would be a big deal. Apple says no thank you. They aren't exactly rushing to buy Bitcoin. Instead, they're making it easier for their customers to buy Bitcoin. So earlier this month, they partnered with Coinbase to let users buy crypto directly through Apple Pay. And okay, it's like it could be a gateway drug. It could be like the first, that's it for me. Yeah, here. I don't ever do this stuff. Here. Yeah, come on, whatever. So we'll see what Apple does. But at least they are talking to Coinbase, and that could be interesting. And probably if you're Coinbase, you don't really want, I don't know how much you want Apple involved in crypto, but Apple stock is trading at around 180. The market cap is 2.8 trillion. So they too are playing it safe as far as like a treasury asset or something, or a Bitcoin reserve. That's unlikely. And it's all their shareholder base is also, they're old. They take their teeth out to eat. They're not gonna say yes. They've already, listen, people have lost money by not participating. They've lost potential profit. Sometimes people get real sour grapish when they miss something, when they really missed it. And this sounds like that. Microsoft, same thing. Anyway, Meta is making a pivot towards NFTs. So Meta, the company, formerly Facebook, has been pushing NFTs pretty hard, integrating them into Instagram and Facebook. And then there's some reports say that NFT transactions on Meta's platforms are up 40% since they launched this thing. So I guess that's good. Meta's bigger play is the metaverse. So they're, I think, betting that blockchain will power all these, virtual transactions. And so they're still building into crypto. It seems like at some point, even if they don't do it as a treasury function, that Bitcoin would be an asset that could flow across Meta rails. So they're kind of open to it, obviously. Remember, they were creating their own stablecoin, which was Diem, which was Mosaic was part of that shit show, dumpster fire. That got shut down. Then you had Sui and Aptos come out of that Move blockchain. Mosaic was over at Aptos until he just stepped down. So, Diem failed. Aptos fired. Who is the one common link? The one thing linking these two companies? Yeah. So Mosaic, bye. Bye-bye. Microsoft, well, we know what they're doing. They're keeping things corporate. Azure, its cloud platform, has rolled out blockchain as a service, which it's kind of like bullshit as a service because Microsoft is not really good at this. Over 500 companies are supposedly trying to use it to build decentralized applications. What has flourished? I don't think anything. Anything of significance? No. Otherwise, Microsoft will be touting it. But they are throwing cash at startups in the DeFi and NFT space. So Their stock is at $3.80 a share. Why does this thing keep? Does it sound really quiet? Can you guys hear? I can't hear shit. Let me see. If you still hear music, let me know, because I don't hear anything. It just like goes away. It just goes away. Why does it go away? What am I doing? What have I done to it? Anyway, it like goes on and off. Yeah, no mo shake. Anyway, Microsoft is trading at about $3.80 a share. They have about a $2.8 trillion market cap. All these companies are right around that 2.6, 2.8. But when Microsaylor had his really uncomfortable speech, he suggested that they had Bitcoin. It was really, really bad. He was using like a PowerPoint, and it was just really awful. And that was a few weeks ago, and they told him unequivocally, no. They said, no thanks. Nope, no. So there's that. Tesla and NVIDIA. So Bitcoin holdings on the Tesla side, mining wars on the NVIDIA side. Tesla's Bitcoin story is pretty well known. They've got 1.5 billion in Bitcoin on their books and are thinking about bringing back Bitcoin payments for their cars. That would be interesting. Elon Musk might be. He is a kind of polarizing figure. And we know that as this new government begins, January 20th, the shit and the fan are going to meet each other, and I'm quite excited about that. That's going to be pretty good. Anyway, so we'll see. Their crypto strategy hasn't exactly been outstanding. I mean, they've made money, but because they're just sitting on the asset, but they're holding steady. They're pushing for greener mining practices. Okay, cool. It's kind of virtue signaling, kind of like a ESG virtue signaling thing. But anyway, their stock's trading at 280. They got a market cap of about 900 billion. So we'll see. Is that an outrageous market cap for them? Yeah, for what they do in profit. Yeah, that's marginally unreasonable, but whatever. I mean, people are willing to pay it. I went with pumpkin spice hot chocolate today. No caffeine, just chocolate. It's very Christmas Eve-y. And then we have NVIDIA. Their GPU obviously is the backbone of crypto mining, especially for Bitcoin miners. But NVIDIA's relationship with crypto is not all great. They're facing a Supreme Court case over allegations that they misled investors about crypto revenue back in 2018. Their stock's trading at $140. Market cap's 3.42 trillion. And legal woes aside, they've had a pretty remarkable performance. They pretty much propped up. These companies have, and mostly led by NVIDIA, have propped up the entire NASDAQ, like the whole thing, the whole S&P 500, the whole damn thing. So, and that's an AI story, and it's not a crypto story. Although there are places where they would connect, but for now, no. All right, Charles Hoskinson. Here we go. Good old Charles. I gotta put a picture of his dumbass face up here. Hold on. See if you guys can see this. Look at this fucking tool. Charles Hoskinson is going to meet Democratic senators in a push of bipartisan crypto agenda. What? Yeah. Charles sees opportunity in Fetterman. So Charles Hoskinson, the outspoken founder of Cardano, who grows mushrooms, has a Black Hawk helicopter, wants to repopulate woolly mammoths, and chases meteors. Oh yeah, and also shits all over and destroys the Cardano ecosystem. Is taking his fight for crypto to Capitol Hill, in parentheses, after kind of lying by insinuation that he was going to be part of the Trump campaign, or not campaign, but by the part of the Trump crypto community, which again was all fucking lies, because that's what Charles does. And then if you call him out on it, he says, "Oh, why you guys are so mean to me? What? You guys are toxic," and he whines like a little bitch. Anyway, so now he's taking the fight to Capitol Hill, just like he wink promised. Parentheses lied. The billionaire blockchain visionary plans to meet Democratic senators, including Pennsylvania's John Fetterman, to push a bipartisan agenda for the crypto industry. No one gives a shit what Charles has to say. Anyway, his strategy is to bridge the gap between political parties and get lawmakers to stop fighting long enough to see what crypto can actually do, and they're going to listen to him. Fetterman recently went viral for his comments on Trump's 2024 win, calling out Kamala Harris for labeling Trump as a fascist. A lot of Democrats, especially in my state that I know, and I happen to love people that voted for Trump, and they are not fascists, Fetterman said. I think people are going to decide who protects and projects their vision of America and way of life. And that's what happened, he said. Charles heard this, and he sees opportunity in Fetterman. He wasted no time reacting. This is Charles. When people ask how we make crypto a bipartisan issue, they're the Democrats we need to talk to next year, he said. Fetterman represents a type of leadership that crypto needs. Democrats willing to challenge party lines and think differently. Right. He's the only one that would answer your call, isn't he, Charles? He's literally the only person, the only one that will answer your goddamn calls. Maybe he won't even. Maybe he didn't even. Who knows? Who knows who's got pictures of some, campaign trail glory hole at some truck stop, and the guy's compromised. I don't know. Anyway, crypto's been caught in the kind of political crossfire, and a lot of people think that it was a major issue, kind of a rallying point, and may have won Trump the election. No, what won Trump the election is Kamala was awful, like just a fucking wind vane of nothingness, and people are tired. People are tired of the last 4 years of nothing, and they're woked out. Everyone is woked out. And they're just like, fuck, enough is enough. Well, I'll take the orange man, right? Enough is enough. So, but part of Biden's, quiet, comatose administration was letting Senator Elizabeth Warren just completely go off the leash and act like a psychopath and just try to shut down crypto. Why? Because she's pumped and pushed and invested in and promoted and paid off directly, all these fuckers are, by legacy finance, by old banks, by the Jamie Dimons and stuff like that, that type. She's just such a creep. And I bet in her own way, I bet all of these people, they probably craft these arguments in their mind that I'm doing God's work. I'm doing the people's work. And you just want to bounce their head off of a concrete slab and just tell them to fuck off. But anyway, they're convinced. Like, you can't convince Nancy Pelosi that she's done anything wrong, even though she's been insider trading and basically information trading pretty much illegally for her entire career. When she outperformed the whole S&P 500. Remember when she outperformed the best money managers in the world? Why? Because Nancy Pelosi knows how to manage money? No. She doesn't know fucking shit about managing money. She knows how to act on information that she's privy to and no one else is, because she's a fucking criminal. And there's a lot of them, like a lot of them. You should hear that Senator Hawley, Hawley. You should hear him go after these. I mean, he is ripping these fuckers. It's awesome. Anyway, so Charles has been vocal about all this kind of stuff. He slammed what he called Biden and Warren's anti-crypto deal, claiming it stifles innovation and locks legitimate businesses. Look, it's not like Warren and Biden, it's not like they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. You don't need to call them out, Charles. You don't need to be like, you guys are dirty. They're like, yeah, of course we're dirty. What do you think we're doing? Stupid. We get paid by these fools. Of course we're dirty. Charles is so simple. His plan, however, doesn't stop with just a few meetings because he's already proposed a Bill of Rights for crypto users. Jesus Christ. Focusing on consumer protection, fair taxation, and clear asset classification. In November, he launched the Operation Baseline, a campaign for identifying inefficiencies in the U.S. crypto market and pushing for legislation to fix them. Charles even floated the idea of Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong becoming a White House crypto czar under a potential Trump administration. Armstrong, he argued, could unify the fragmented industry and offer a strong voice in Washington. The president has since chosen someone else. Why? Because no one fucking listens to Charles Hoskinson. No one. I would say his wife doesn't listen, but he doesn't have a wife. Because he's kind of a weird, sad fella. Anyway, yeah, Josh Hawley. That guy's awesome. You guys never heard that dude rip into people? He's so good. He rips these people. Scumbags. It's great. Anyway, and also, I like Charles floated the idea of Brian Armstrong. Oh, really? Who'd he float it to? A bunch of people that think he's toxic on Twitter? Get the fuck out of here, Charles. He's such a creep. These guys, they really think they're important, don't they? They make a little money in crypto and they think they're somebody. Hey, Charles, this just in. Elon Musk can buy and sell you your whole net worth 300 fucking times. So shut up. You are nothing. Like, you're really nothing, dude. Anyway, he's not listening. He's doing whatever he's doing to gay porn, likely. Anyway, Armstrong argued, well, doesn't matter what Armstrong said. Okay, so we'll see. Critics refer to Cardano as a zombie chain. Unfortunately, I think that is accurate now. I used to be a big supporter of Cardano and what they were doing, and their tech is cool, but all of the, fast transactions everywhere. This is the problem with Ripple too, with XRP. Ooh, it's fast. Everything's fast. Like everything. You ever done a transaction on Base or Optimism? You click the button, and by the time your fucking finger gets up, the transaction is finished. Same thing with Solana, although a lot of transactions crash. But when they're not crashing, they're fast. That's just a scumbag thief chain. But Cardano actually had some good tech and some good innovation. But again, time passed it by. XRP used to be really fast to transact. Stellar Lumens, really fast to transact. But now, no one cares. No one cares. And because it's not that good compared to the competitors, compared to your average layer 2, it's just not that good. So he fires back and says, people see what they want to see. Charles, they see nothing. There's no activity in your network. Nothing's happening. That's what they fucking see. And then they see you whining about it like a little bitch on Twitter. What they see is a big fucking goose egg. This dude's got to go to the store and buy himself a 6-pack of Man and drink every can. Every can. How would you explain how a Bitcoin is mined to someone? That's actually a good question, Mick. That's a good question. And it deserves, because I've actually had a lot of people in and around ask about this. I can sum it up. I even have a little placard for that somewhere. Let me see. I think it was, I can recreate it if I can't find it. Oh, maybe I don't have it. I used to have it. I used to totally have it. Make it, send it, validate it. You're like, what? Here, I'm gonna make another plaque. Let's see. Here we go. Make it, send it, validate it. Okay. So what does this mean? So first of all, Bitcoin mining 101, you know that there are 10-minute block times. That's roughly the amount of time in between where a block of data will have about 10 minutes worth of total transactions and then the next 10-minute block, and then the next 10-minute block, and then the next 10-minute block. And you see they're connected by hashes, and that is a chain of blocks, hence blockchain. Yes, first one. Okay, now make it. So the first step is all of the mining rigs, they're all competing and they're all working with the same information. So every 10 minutes, once a new block has been formed, the next block opens up. It's not formed yet. There's a meme pool. Meme pool. Appropriate, right? It's got a bunch of disordered transactions. So the very first thing, and this takes just fractions of seconds, all those transactions are ordered. Everyone across every single Bitcoin miner is doing this at the same time. All those transactions in the meme pool, imagine a pile of papers on the ground. It's suddenly clean and crisp and perfect and collated and in order of time and everything, and fees, right? The highest fees on top and descending. So that meme pool is ordered. That's the first step. Then they start crunching this number. I'm just going to keep it kind of simple. They start crunching this number. Think of it as a mathematical riddle or a long mathematical equation that varies every time, and the answer varies every time. And so these computers, these mining rigs, they have to exhaust a ton of compute resources in order to churn through all the possibilities and come up with the correct solution that allows them, that one single miner, to win the block in the whole ecosystem. So if they solve the riddle, they win. What they win is the right for them to broadcast their version of the transactions, the ordered transactions. Remember that clean, crisp, collated meme pool of all those transactions that have been ordered. Their version gets propagated out, right? So by winning that little math riddle, they get the opportunity to make it. They make the block. This is the block. Then step 2, they send it out. Boo! It gets propagated to all the other mining competitors, all the other mining rigs. Every other node grabs it. And they say, this is it. And then they have to validate it. And so validation, basically, it's network agreement. Now, the make it part, this is the consensus mechanism. You've heard of proof of work, proof of stake. That's the proof of work part. Solving that equation proves that miner did the work, and they get the reward, which is the block reward. It's a little subsidy that's paid, not little. It's a subsidy that's paid for every single block, every 10-minute block, and which gives rise to another question. You might say, well, wait, what happens at the end when there's all the Bitcoin is out there? Then what? Well, then there are little fees associated, paid in Bitcoin. Once you order that meme pool, there's fees. And the fees will be what support the mining ecosystem at that point. You can imagine a $1, a $2, a $10 million, $100 million Bitcoin. Remember, this is 2140, 2,140 that year. Still a ways away. Still, 115 years away. Some of us will be there, maybe. Some of us not. I don't know. I'll probably be there. But at that point, there will be no more block subsidy, and it will convert to a completely fee-based system. So there, easy. So anyway, and the validated part is once you get network agreement, like, okay, well, this is the block. He did the work. He or she or they did the work. They solved the riddle. This is their version. This is the one. Everybody says, yes, this is the version of the last 10 minutes, and on to the next one. Okay. Now, it usually takes a few blocks to be completely certain. You'll see, like when you'll do a transaction, let's say pending a couple more confirmations or something like that. Because if there was an attack on the network, you would know it within a couple of blocks. So for that transaction to have permanence, it usually takes 2 or 3 blocks, 2 or 3 of those 10-minute blocks. Cool? That's Bitcoin mining. Make it, send it, validate it, right? Consensus, propagation, validation. Yay. See, you thought validation was going to be hard, but you got validation. Yeah. Make a transaction, send a transaction, validate a transaction. Bam. I don't think that's how consensus is spelled. Damn good job. Do you know when midnight is coming online? No, I don't. And that's frustrating. And that's something that Charles just doesn't feel compelled to get to. Yeah. So that's frustrating. Okay. So that's what's going on. I really don't remember. You guys remember when Charles did the "Am I Cancer" for Cardano, and over 50,000 people voted, and almost 52% said yes. So instead of sulking, which he was already sulking, well, first he was embarrassed, then his embarrassed turned to sulking, and then that turned into another talking point. So Charles just used it. He's been trying to leave the project. It's pretty clear. So it's like, whatever. Anyway, his net worth is 1.2 billion. So he's funding projects that, he thinks are pretty cool, detecting extraterrestrial life and a bunch of other stuff. And good for him. I mean, he's a smart guy. I think his time is better served outside of Cardano and away from social media. And if he wants to go fund a bunch of weird projects and some of them might do stuff, that's great. Cool. And he's met with some people, and no one seems to react when Charles meets with him. Remember for how many years he was, I'm not going to say lying, but trying to convince all of us that he had, just these big deals going on in Africa, Cardano taking over Africa, which was probably the main reason I invested in it in the first place. And yeah. So, yeah. So enough of Charles, man. The guy's just he's a waster. Let's talk Micro Sailor. Yes. Okay. MicroStrategy plans a shareholder vote to sell more shares and stack more Bitcoin. This guy. The things that these idiots let him get away with. MicroStrategy is getting ready for an important shareholder vote to decide if the company can raise more money to support its Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. Its Bitcoin plans. The company wants to raise $42 billion over the next 3 years to strengthen its position as a leader using Bitcoin. MicroStrategy set up for an important shareholder vote. It announced a meeting with its shareholders after purchasing $516 million worth of Bitcoins. The meeting is to decide if the company can raise funds for its big strategy called the 2121. The plan is to raise $21 billion by equity financing and $21 billion by issuing bonds over the next 3 years, except that the equity owners get diluted. The bond holders get paid back. This thing is a fucking one-way train, man. What a scam. What a total fucking scam. It's so crazy. Can you imagine? Anyway, the company started its Bitcoin journey in 2020 when it made its cryptocurrency a key part of its treasury strategy. Since then, MicroSailor has accumulated over 440,000 Bitcoin worth $42 billion. This shift has increased the company's market value, gradually growing it from $1.1 billion to $82 billion. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. MicroStrategy is worth almost 10% of Tesla. This company does nothing. They have a whole staff of people that stare at the price of Bitcoin and go out and give really shitty lectures over and over about how you should ape into Bitcoin. It's mind-boggling. And even when it gets called out, people just forget, within 3 seconds. It gets called out for being the total dumpster fire shit show Ponzi scheme that it is. No one cares. You explain how it works. We did in detail. No one cares. No one cares. Anyway, to achieve its goals, MicroSailor has proposed increasing the number of authorized Class A shares from 330 million. Okay, let me say this again because I was going to laugh. They want to increase the number of Class A shares from 330 million, get your calculators out, to 10.33 billion. And also raising the number of preferred shares from 5 million, 5, to 1.05 billion. Billion. So I'm going to reduce the math and make it easier. There's currently 330 million shares of Class A. They want to add 10 billion to that. 10 billion, not million, 10 billion. They're at a third of a billion, and they want to add 10, so that's a 30x. Okay, cool. You want to dilute me by 30x. Great. And they want the number of preferred shares to go from 5 million to 1.05 billion. So wait, 5 million times 10 is 50 million, times 10 is 500 million, times 10, oh shit. So, yeah, man, that's like a 200x. So they're going to dilute them by 200x. Holy shit. You gotta be a dumbass to go for this shit. You gotta be the dumbest. Oh my God. Do you know anybody that owns micro? Well, I say that, but there's an endless well of stupidity because the shares are up like a 10x, a 20x over 4 or 5 years. So like, you can say he's full of shit, but if people believe him, it doesn't matter. People buy Pepe and Dogecoin. They don't give a shit. They're fucking idiots. You know what? If people want to be idiots with their money, God, more power to you. Give him all your shit. These changes will allow greater flexibility to raise funds. Yeah, I bet. The company's also proposed changes to its 2023 equity incentive plan by introducing automatic equity awards for newly appointed directors to align them with its Bitcoin-focused vision. That's how they're grabbing new people. So Micro Saylor's, who's now the executive chairman because he basically got fired from being the CEO. People don't talk about that either. He's not the CEO anymore. He got nuked. He's been the main force behind its Bitcoin strategy. He believes this approach is essential for long-term success. Under his quasi-leadership, the company remained committed to Bitcoin even during periods of market decline and rise. Most recently, MicroStrategy sold 561 million, a little over $500 million worth of shares to acquire an additional 5,262 Bitcoin, showing its strong trust in Bitcoin as a safe option to hold value. He's losing on that trade, by the way, by a lot. That's neither here nor there. The proposals, you would think investors would be a little bit uncomfortable. Thankfully, there is somewhat of a mixed reaction from investors. Some of them point out to the big profits made through their Bitcoin plans, such as the 477% rise in the company's stock over the past year. Others are cautious about potential risks, as they should be, because it's a Ponzi scheme. A concern that issuing more shares may reduce the percentage of current shareholders. No. That's not a concern. That is a mathematical fucking fact. If you dilute the shares, you dilute the percentage of ownership of the shareholders. That's how that works. That's what it actually means. So it's not a concern, it's a certainty. And this is so you have some investors raising questions about how the company is going to balance long-term goals with the interest of investors. So here's the deal. If you want to talk about Micro Saylor over the holiday, and people are like, oh, that's so crazy. This is like, it is crazy. And here's why it's a Ponzi scheme. He can keep raising more money. Remember, in order for this to work, you have to do what? Remember, a pyramid upside down is a Ponzi scheme. That's what a Ponzi scheme is. You have to take in more money to pay off your old debts, smaller debt. So he has to keep taking in more money by diluting the shareholders. He has to take in more money by selling senior debt. But when you sell that senior debt, those guys are protected and they need to get out of jail free card. And you have to pay off other senior debt note holders. You don't have to pay off the equity holders because they're fucking idiots holding the equity and they're just betting that the stock's going to go up. But you do have to pay the old note holders. So in effect, he's rolling over his debt with new money. New money, pay off old borrowers, or old lenders. New money, pay off old lenders. New money, old lenders. Well, that works if the amount of money you're taking in is sufficient to stabilize or increase the price of Bitcoin to some extent, or to create some nirvana where everyone wants to do this. He can't do that anymore. 5,000 Bitcoin ain't shit. He bought this 5,000 Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin went down 18% in 3 days. The problem is now he can't take in enough money to affect the price of Bitcoin, not even to stabilize it. Therefore, the money coming in the top they're not as excited about this. Well, what do they get? It's a senior note holder, and we talked about this the other day, but they basically get the right to purchase. It's a call option on the shares with really no bottom. It goes up or you get your money back at some point. It's a zero coupon bond, so they're not making money off that. They're loaning the money for free, hoping that Bitcoin goes up, hoping that this works, hoping that Saylor has enough impetus, kind of market pull that it can be like a demand-driven asset appreciation. But he doesn't anymore. That's the problem. Bitcoin's too big. So he's going to have to keep asking for bigger piles of money to get the same return. And now, again, 5,000 Bitcoin over the weekend and nothing. The price went down. So his little charade is already over. Like, I don't know who would give him money. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Yes, they own a bunch of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will probably keep going up. Probably forever. But I don't know how you convince new people to give you money under the auspices of, oh, our stock will keep going up, and you'll get this call option, and you'll win. And they're like, but how? How do you guys win? You hold it. You just hold it. What you don't? How does your company make money? Oh, we just hold it. Yes, but how does your company make money? The way his company makes money is selling shares. His product is shares. He buys Bitcoin to sell shares. He finances it through selling to dumbasses that buy his stock and weirdos that get protected by giving him zero coupon loans, zero interest rate loans, so he can go buy more Bitcoin. But the company doesn't make money. There's no profit for the company because he doesn't intend to sell ever. So it can't work. It cannot work. At least not the way it's currently structured. Could they be looking at some massive pivot? Could they become a currency exchange? Could they be? I don't fucking know. But the way it currently works doesn't work. It is Ponzi. It's sloppy. It's weird that people are buying into it. It's weird that people are dumb enough that they don't see it. And so the product are the shares. MicroStrategy sells shares. That's what they do. It's crazy. Well, Denny, as crooked as the Microsoft strategy is, everybody's okay with it, except for some people are talking about it like it's a little sketchy, but generally people just think everything's fine. Well, no, they're not making money on any transaction. They make money selling shares, and they make money borrowing from new people at senior debt notes to go pay back old with these convertible notes. It's the craziest thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me. Maybe we're just so close to it. But anyway, so those who support this plan believe that the Bitcoin strategy has made MicroStrategy more valuable and helped it lead the way in the corporate use of Bitcoin, which I agree. All of his prognosticating has raised awareness for Bitcoin. For that, we thank him. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, good sir. You're a crook, but thank you. They think that the changes will help the company's future opportunities to stay at the top of the Bitcoin world. I disagree. I think that people are going to learn that you could just buy Bitcoin. What happens when you can buy Bitcoin right at your bank? Is anybody going to do anything with MicroStrategy? I don't use MicroStrategy to buy me US dollars. I just go to the bank. I don't even go to the bank. I do it on my phone. Anyway, so seems weird. There's also the concern about the company crumbling into bankruptcy because of Bitcoin's volatility. However, that's a scenario we may never see, because I think the only way that MicroStrategy would face Bitcoin is prolonged prices under like 20,000. And his debt doesn't, like the way he structures his debt, apparently he's pretty clever in that those people can't get out for years. So he gets free money for years. He could be long gone. They also pointed out that the company's holding around 46 billion worth of Bitcoin, but there's only about 7 billion in debt. So it's unlikely that a bankruptcy would occur. What would occur is if the house of cards comes crumbling down, they may have to sell some Bitcoin. That would create some stress. Michael Saylor's also suggested that a Bitcoin reserve could help the U.S. with its huge national debt. He thinks the current political environment is also cordial with the Bitcoin agenda. I don't know. It's a big deal, this vote, though. I don't know what I hope. I hope in two ways. One, for Bitcoin, I hope they vote it through. For people in general and just fucking math, I hope they bury this thing in a fucking toilet. Because it is just more Ponzi-nomics. But, there's lots of Ponzi schemes that keep going, and there's Herbalife and all that shit. I mean, what are you going to do? Am I right? So anyway, that's that. That's the old Hoskinson Micro Saylor shuffle. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's go over to markets. Let's go look at markets. If I can find the clicking button. All right. What's going on? Oh, look at the Bitcoin. It's 98. So it's having a little bit of a bounce back day. Thank God. Just languishing. So 5% ain't bad. It makes last week look less bad, but it was bad. Bitcoin 98. Ethereum. That's loud, isn't it? Turn that down a little bit. I like the vibe. It's a little bit of a loud vibe. We gotta dial down that vibe. Yeah, look how long Bernie's thing. Bernie ran that thing for decades, and he was, man, I think it was the Boston Bureau of the SEC was trying to go after him for almost 8 years, and no one would listen to him. They're like, it's not like we're some dudes on the street. We're the SEC. This is a scam. They're like, nah, you just don't know Bernie. What do you mean you don't know Bernie? It's a scam. No one would listen. Not even the other SEC. They had experts and shit. And they said the problem was no one at the SEC was just good. They didn't understand what they were looking at. They were all just like, what? What am I? What's the who's it? Would you? Anyway, the Bitcoin back up. Maybe we'll get a little Santa Claus pop to 100K, something like that. I don't think the worst is over. There was a huge, this Friday, so in a few days, there's a huge options expirations, over 14 billion. And I think it's 3 and change, 3.6, 3.8, 3.9 in Ethereum, but it's like 14.6, somewhere around there, 14 point something billion just in Bitcoin. And these are options that were mostly entered around the September timeframe. I think the price point was around 94,000. No. Sorry. That's not accurate. 94,000 is the price point where most people where most of the bets were sitting. Anyway, long story short, this illiquid tomorrow and the rest of the week could be a little messy. So yeah, that can be, it'll just be a little messy. That's all. I don't know how else to explain it. It's going to be messy. What does that mean for the corn? Does that mean up, down? It could go either way. You'd have to have Bitcoin fall, I think, below 92, and then like the peak chaos is like around 88,000. I don't know if we see 88,000 again. Anything's possible in anemic markets. I don't really feel that. We could see 95 again, 94, 93. I don't know that the 80s make sense to me. But we'll see. And then Ethereum, it's been holding 3,400. I think when the majority of those options contracts were put on, Ethereum was at 2,200, something like that. So there's a lot of puts. There's a lot of downside bets against Ethereum. That doesn't mean anything except that behind the scenes is where it gets wonky. People could coordinate to sell and take profit, and at the same time push prices down so that their options come home. I mean, it is sketchy. It's not sketchy. I don't know what you call it. Collusion, manipulation. So if I had to bet, I guess I would bet that if either Bitcoin or Ethereum were going to get their asses kicked, it's probably Ethereum. But we'll see. We'll see if there's any kind of recovery staged over the last week. A lot of these tokens have gotten their asses kicked. So everything's pretty similar across the board. A decent day for VeChain. Let's see. Anything else super exciting? Arweave. Oh man, I was right in that 12 to 15 range. I really wanted to grab some, but I just couldn't. Other stuff looked too juicy. I didn't do it. But I may. I don't know. We'll see. Harmony won 18% on the day. Bravo, good sir. Store J back over 50 cents again. JLP doing fine. Jupiter up 7%. So yeah, Jupiter up 7%. JLP 3. So JLP is just a kind of consistent, kind of workhorse asset. Debouche still over 4 cents, not at the 5.5, 5.4 it was this weekend. That was great, especially for the people that bought it at 4. But there we go. The only thing I would watch is, I'm curious. Hypercycle we'll call it 19 cents. My guess is the next time we talk, Denny, which will be the day after tomorrow's Thursday, it will be higher. That's all. That's a guess. I don't know. That's just a guess. So yeah. So yes. Oh yeah, I have lots of eggnog, but I don't put alcohol in it because I don't drink. But anyway, yes. Okay. Any news from Tufi? You gotta go wait for Tufi to talk for information from Tufi. But yes. Isn't it bullshit, Howard? Like, look, just so you guys know, this ain't the price. Look. Where do you see a price of 8 cents? Oh, Pancake Swap. What's the volume? $336. Wow. Pancake Swap. Oh, 8.8. Why? $1. $1. Pancake Swap. $2. You see that? That's not even $340 total. That's what's giving it this bullshit price. This is the price. The Uniswap price is the price. I thought this was, let me go previous. I thought this was something that was an accidental machination. I think someone is actually trying to cook it. Pancake Swap. Binance Chain, $1. It looks like someone's trying to cook the price. I hope it's not as simple as I think it is. I hope it's just weird, accidental, whatever, and I'm reading too much into it. But it looks a little bullshitty to me. And it's just the kind of like low rent, bargain basement, budget ass shit that they do over there at Singularity Net. So This will be Singularity DAO, but whatever. Everything they've got's a dumpster fire anyway. Okay, let's call it a day. Hey, look, we got a green day. Everybody's green. Everybody's happy. I think. What's the only thing? Oh, Monero. Well, we don't care. And to bridge, but you're up from. Okay, so other than this bullshit, and the bridge had a good run. Everything's green. Hopefully, we'll go into Christmas and you can have a green and red. I mean, those are Christmas colors, but whatever. Okay. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor, insolvent, drunk, struggling on meth grandmother wouldn't do, which is very little. We don't know what the weather's like where Brandon's at, but we assume it's cold. Cold as hell. So have a nice little Christmas, and we'll see you guys Thursday. Unless there's some fucking major chaos tomorrow, in which case we'll just come on and talk about it. But for the most part, we'll see you Thursday. Have a good Christmas.